Hello there. Welcome to my kitchen slash office. My name's Tim Plummer, and I'm starting a journey into game development as a hobbyist. I'm going to be documenting my progress here on YouTube so that there's some record of how far I've gotten since I started out. And I'm really hoping that posting regular updates will kind of give me some degree of accountability, and if it helps other people along the way, that would be a really great bonus. Maybe a little bit of background about me. So, originally, I'm from San Jose, California, and now I'm living in Stockholm. I'm a UI UX designer at Klarna, so I'm making user interfaces, and I have a background in graphic design, art, drawing. I kind of come from fine arts originally, but I've always been interested in computers. I've tried and failed to make games a couple of times, but I have a feeling that this time is going to be different because I'm actually going all in and I'm trying to create dedicated time and space for game development. The background here is that last year I was in a bit of a slump at work. I wasn't really motivated. I wasn't really passionate about the things that I was doing. And I like my job, honestly, but I just wasn't feel like I was making something that was my own. And so I had the grand idea to take some time off, work on games, work on something that was entirely my own initiative and entirely my own creative output. And yeah, I talked about it with my managers, and they were extremely supportive. They understood where I was coming from, and they thought that we could work together to let me take some time off of work, but still come back. So I'm on a sabbatical effectively now, and I'm not really trying to change careers. I'm just trying to do something different, and that's my own for a bit. Since I knew that I was going on the sabbatical, I knew that I needed to figure out what engine I would use. Like, you can't make games without game engines. You can't do it on vibes and intuition. So I knew that I needed to pick an engine. And I'd tried Unity in the past. I'd tried Game Maker Studio in the past. And both times I feel like they just didn't really click with me. Part of that might have been that I wasn't really approaching learning in the right way. I think I was working on it on nights and weekends, so I really felt like it wasn't going to be possible for me to learn how to use those tools and make games in those tools on nights and weekends without compromising my work life balance. So that's why I settled on Unreal Engine, and that's why I knew that I needed some dedicated time and space. Um, I did look into Godot. Godot seems like a really cool tool as well. It's open source, and it seems like it's quite refined in its design. But I felt like Unreal was a bit more what I was looking for because it has such robust learning resources available, and also because it has the marketplace. And the Unreal Marketplace just is really fully featured. It has tons of stuff. It also has free stuff all the time, so you can accumulate a lot of assets that could kind of give you some shortcuts and help you to implement gameplay logic without having to write everything yourself or use all of your own assets or something like that. So yeah, I feel like Unreal has been really crucial in that respect. And also, Unreal has Blueprints, which is a visual scripting language. You can basically do everything that you could do with C++ in Blueprints. And my feeling, for my purposes, was that I'm not a programmer. I don't have a programming background. And I felt like that language being really well supported by the developer meant that I could rely on it for a long time to come. And for me, that was a much more accessible gateway to learning programming than doing it in code. Like, my brain just doesn't really work in code. Maybe it'll get there eventually once I've used blueprints enough, but for me, that's the best entry point that I could ask for. One thing that really paved the way, I guess, for me to understand blueprints and how they work in Unreal was the Learn to Code in Unreal Engine with Blueprints series from Koki Games. It's on YouTube. I'll leave it in the description. It's free. It's 19 episodes, and it's just a really extensive deep dive into programming concepts using blueprints. And somehow the way that he introduces concepts and the way that he presents them and explains why you would use certain blueprint nodes over other blueprint nodes, it was just really helpful for me. And it really kind of it broke down some mental barriers that I had to understanding programming before. Um, so yeah, I would definitely recommend that. And now at this stage, I feel like I've kind of transitioned from very much beginner to beginner plus. So I'm going to start making prototypes for my own games. I've been putting together game design docs for a little while, and like, I have some ideas for games. Some of them are very ambitious and way beyond my abilities right now. Some of them are a little bit more scoped down and something that I could probably reasonably make a prototype of within a few weeks slash months. So that's where I'm at. And my first game that I'm going to be prototyping is a mosquito game. Basically, you fly around as a mosquito. You're hunting for blood. As you're flying around, you're consuming blood. And yeah, my thinking is that we can introduce challenges along the way. Maybe there's bats, maybe there's spiders. You don't want people swatting at you, so you need to be sneaky in who you target and make sure that they don't see you. I'm thinking that all of these things could make for interesting gameplay mechanics, and I was inspired by getting eaten alive by mosquitoes last summer, so I wanted to flip the script a little bit and see what it was like to be the mosquito, basically. If you want to follow along with my game dev process and the progress that I make, and even playtest games, I'm setting up a Discord server, so you can join there and you can kind of sign up for whatever roles you want to be using. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say in this intro, and I'm very much looking forward to having you along for the ride. So thank you. Bye.